Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chine. I'm a little teary-eyed because I just finished Luther Never Too Much, and he is never too much. Luther Vandross was born in the Bronx, and he had a song in his heart. He was a background singer. He got a group going. He loved the Supremes, Aretha Franklin, Dionne Warwick. And in this group, they said that he would have people come down and listen to them. And one day, Jim Henson came down. Jim Henson is the creator of Sesame Street. And they performed for him, and he wanted them on Sesame Street. Luther Vandross and the group over there singing you your 1, 2, 3s and ABCs. Like, I don't remember a black group on Sesame Street. Do you remember that? Because they were there, honey, in different colors. In 1969, Luther went to Kalamazoo, Michigan to go to college. They said he was very miserable because it was the music for him. So eventually, he left and went back to New York. In 1974, they said the way they would get, seen and get into sessions, they would go to different sessions with people singing. And if they needed somebody to fill in, like, oh, my friend is a singer. So he leaned over to Robin and he was mouthing something. David Bowie heard him and invited him to be his background singer. Luther was the #1 sought out background singer for everybody. So, he was backgrounding for Bette Midler. Then, the Wiz had come out. Then after that, he had a group together. They did cover songs of the Wiz. Just putting himself out there. And his voice was fantastic then. As fantastic as it was at the end. So Luther said that he had a disco sound, right? He sang with Sister Sledge. He was on their album, and he was kind of singular in the disco era because nobody kind of sounded like him. So they sent him into jingles. Y'all, he did jingles for spearmint gum, beer, pizza advertisements, all kind of stuff. I had no idea. So Luther became the #1 background singer for commercials and records. And then he started with Roberta Flack. And this is when his life started to change. He said that he would do sound check for her when she wasn't there, or interviews. And one day she heard him in sound check. And it's a running joke between them, but he said Roberta fired him. Roberta Flack said, I didn't fire him. I just told him he needs to produce his own songs and sing his own music because he is that fantastic. Shout out to Roberta Flack. Now, one thing that I know for sure as a lover of music, when these people have their vision and the song in their head to put out, nobody ever thinks it's going to do what it needs to do or what it's going to do. But Never Too Much became platinum, and then he followed that up with 4 other songs. And everything is platinum from Luther. And Luther wrote for everybody. He wrote Jump to It by Aretha Franklin. Jump, jump, jump to it. I love that. And he said that was a very great day of his to meet Aretha Franklin. This is so good. Do y'all remember when Eddie Murphy was doing Raw and he was like, how the women scream at Luther? He said Luther is a KFC chicken eating, I'm paraphrasing. And Luther saw on one of his shows that Eddie was going to be there. And he comes out with this humongous KFC box and has a jingle to it. They did say that when he was hurt, his humor is what got him through. Those things hurt his feeling, but he turned it into something he could laugh and sing about. And that's hurtful, but he worked that out. So shortly after that, Luther lost 126 pounds, right? And he said since it did not bother his voice, he was cool with it. And he said he could move around on the stage where he couldn't move around before. But one thing about it, Luther had a real big obsession with food. He said any excuse he could use to eat, he would. So he ate when the song wasn't right. He ate when he was upset. And that was his go-to. But he realized that, his life was a little bit better when he was smaller. And then Jamie Foxx came on and he talked about how, you be with your girl on the phone and you wait for a Luther song to come on. And then you take the phone, put it to the radio so she could hear how you felt about her. And shout out to all of us who grew up in the 80s and the 90s when music was our life. Thank you, Luther. It's a lot of us here because of you. And Valerie Simpson was talking about how when he did the woo, they called him the love-making man or something like that. And he didn't want to be referred to as that, but she was like, you make people go to the bedroom, sir. I totally forgot about this. Completely forgot. But in 1986, he got in a car accident, and the person that was in the car with him passed away. And he pled no contest, which was like guilty. And he would have gone to jail for 18 months and had to pay a $2,000 fine. But the judge wanted him to perform a benefit for the family of the person who passed away and give the money away in a scholarship to the children of that person. So after that, Luther gained about 120 pounds. And he was on Oprah a couple of times, but this particular time, he said food is like your coping state. Whatever it is you're going through, this is what you use to cope with. And it was really big for him. He used food. He went back to food for everything. So after all of that, and he gained the weight, he didn't want to tour anymore. And so his background singers, they were listening to him, but eventually he changed his mind, and they were so happy because he really needed that. And they went on tour, and oh my God, amazing. They talked about the suits that they would wear during the tour performances, how they were hand beaded. And Luther's big thing was that he wanted a Grammy. He had been nominated 9 times. And he wanted to cross over more than anything. And they had, I cannot remember her name, but she was talking about when you would go into record stores, you wouldn't even know if black music was there because black music was always in the back of the record stores. And you would have to go back there to get it. But Luther was focused on becoming a Grammy winner. So in 1991, honey, he finally won a Grammy for Here and Now. Absolutely. He should have won all the 9 other ones that he was nominated for. But then after that, he went into the studio and he wanted to do a rendition of the Carpenters' Superstar. First of all, I didn't know that that was their song because Luther did it as if it was his own. Then out of nowhere, child, he brings Mariah Carey out while he is singing. I don't know if this was in London, but they do a rendition of Endless Love. There's only you in my life. Lord have mercy. But let me say this. Luther is a performer. Mariah Carey is not. When I say she is a flat foot, stand here with my microphone stand and sing and blow my lungs out, that is who she is. That sounded great. And then, y'all, I didn't know. Did I know that House is Not a Home? You know what I'm talking about? The Dionne Warwick song. Did I know that was her song? Because, honey, when he sung that to her at her appreciation or whatever, ooh, honey, a house is not a home. When I get up to the top of these stairs and turn this key, please be there and still be in love with me. Yes, Luther. So in 1999, that's when hip hop really got on the scene, and a lot of R&B singers kind of had to take a back seat, right? They had Jay-Z up there, Snoop Dogg, Lil' Kim, and all of that. But Luther left Epic and he went to sign with Clive Davis, and he was reborn. Then he was in this interview and he was talking about all the things that he had done, everything he's accomplished, but not love. He did not have the love of his life. And he was wondering, like, God has given me all of this. Why hasn't he given me my love? I'm paraphrasing. But then he was on Oprah and someone in the audience said, what are your 2 favorite songs? I don't remember him saying the second one, but the first one was Any Love. And he said that song is like his autobiography. If there's anything you want to know about him, you can find out in that song. And if you listen to it, it's different now. It's 100% different now listening to it, now that you know this is Luther in a song. So Luther was saying that he wanted to find love. The people with him was like, we love you. He said, I'm not talking about that. And you know what I'm talking about. So, child, Patti LaBelle is under fire because she was on Andy Cohen's Watch What Happens Live. And Andy said that he struggled publicly about coming out. Patti said he did because he did not want to come out and his mother find that out. That's why Patti is under fire. So then Luther did an interview and he said, y'all need to mind your effing business, because what I'm not going to do is confirm or deny any rumors. But what I will do is give y'all this talent and sing y'all these songs. Shortly after that, Luther wrote Dance with My Father. In 2003, Luther Vandross suffered a stroke from hypertension and diabetes. And in 2005, July the 1st, he passed away. Bye, y'all.